Tavern Brawler Monk is one of the strongest builds in honor mode and can carry you to your sweet golden dice. It is a flexible, consistently hard-hitting melee class that can provide your party with some top-tier damage, as well as battlefield control via the most important skill, punching things. Seriously, a prone can set up the rest of your team for advantage on their rolls, and a stun literally removes an entire turn from an enemy. The monk is also capable of beating the game solo and is not at all reliant on gear, making them one of the easiest classes to gear up no matter your party composition. Let me show you how I build a monk and bully honor mode in Baldur's Gate 3. A little disclaimer, this is the version of the build I use personally, which I've tested over hundreds of hours of gameplay. I have beaten the game with it solo, so I know it works, but feel free to take inspiration and make your own adjustments. The best two companion picks for a monk are Astarion, who can get access to a huge 1d10 necrotic damage bonus on weapon and unarmed attacks in Act 3, and Karlach with a soul coin addiction can apply a respectable 1d4 fire damage to her weapon attacks. But just between you and me, this is kind of bugged and it's actually a very spicy 2d4 to her unarmed attacks. My preference is for Mama K for this build, as soul coins are accessible from Act 1 and they last until your long rest. There are 19 of them in the game, and during my solo run I only consumed 4 of them for the entire playthrough, so it's very generous. Plus, I like my women hot. Once we get access to Withers, we're going to fix her stat allocation. We're going to dump that strength to 8. Oh, but Evelyn, I thought this was a Tavern Brawler build. Don't you know that Tavern Brawler works with strength? Yes, sweetie, I know. Us Aussie girls can handle a drink. 16 dex for our attack rolls and initiative. The modifier is also added to our AC, provided we're not wearing any armor or using a shield. 15 con for survivability. Oh, Evelyn, that is an odd number. Yes, I know, sweetie. We're going to take care of that later at level 4. 16 wisdom, as our wisdom modifier gets added to our AC along with dex. And in Act 3, we get a unique pair of boots, which adds this modifier to our damage as well, which is the thing we're most interested in. And charisma sits at 10. If you're playing monk as a primary character, I would suggest putting 17 into dexterity, using your +2 and dumping charisma. Our first level allows us to add our wisdom and dexterity modifiers to our AC, as long as we're not wearing armor or using a shield, which is nice, but I'm more interested in the punching. We learn martial arts here, which gives our unarmed attacks damage dice at scale with our level. Also, when we make a regular attack, we get the chance to make an additional unarmed attack as a bonus action, or we can spend a key point to make 2 attacks with our bonus action using flurry of blows. And we're going to be doing a lot of that because key points refresh on a short rest. At level 2, since we're not wearing armor or using a shield, our movement speed increases by 3 meters. We also get some bonus action abilities, which has saved my skin a few times in a solo run. Patient defense. When activated with a bonus action and a key point, attack rolls against you have disadvantage and you have advantage on a dex saving throw. I personally don't use this one as much as the other two. Step of the Wind Dash uses a bonus action and a key point to double your movement speed. Jump no longer requires a bonus action. This with a strength elixir means you can jump away from a battle like a maniac. Plus, you can use your normal action disengage if you're in a pickle. Step of the Wind Disengage uses a bonus action and key point to disengage. Jump no longer requires a bonus action. Not as good as Step of the Wind Dash, but it gets the job done if you don't have an action to disengage. Level 3 is where we pick our subclass, and we're going to go with Way of the Open Hand, which gives us different ways to use Flurry of Blows. Stagger, which prevents the target from using their reaction for a turn, useful for some legendary actions against your party. Push, which pushes the target up to 5 meters away from us if they fail a strength saving throw. Pair this with Gravity for devastating effect. And Topple, which can knock the target prone if they fail a dexterity save. This is my preferred flurry, as it's super useful for setting yourself for advantage on attack rolls and enabling your entire team to go to town on a certain enemy. Did you know prone creatures also stop using their reactions? Very useful on enemies such as the Inquisitor. We also get Deflect Missiles here, which allows us to catch projectiles aimed at us, reducing the damage they deal, and if the damage is reduced to 0, we have the option to throw the thing back at our attacker. Level 4 is a huge breakpoint for us because it's where we're gonna get slow fall. Now seriously, at level 4 we get a feat called Tavern Brawler, and it is going to skyrocket our build into broken territory. When we make an unarmed attack, use an improvised weapon or throw something, our strength modifier is added twice to the attack rolls and damage. With a strength elixir, we have 21 strength, which is at base a +5 modifier. When we use Tavern Brawler, this is a +10 onto our attack rolls and our damage rolls. Hello, flurry of blows for a +20 damage roll. I cannot state this enough, as this makes Monk one of the most consistent damage dealers in the party, even without having a weapon equipped. Lastly, we're going to take the chance to bump our constitution from 15 to 16 here. Hey, we fixed that odd number. Level 5 is a critical level for martial classes because it's where we get our extra attack, which gives us much stronger action economy. If that wasn't good enough, monks also get stunning strike, allowing us to spend a key point to attempt to stun a target, completely disabling them from having a turn or a chance to hurt your party. I can't emphasize this enough, but the saving throw for stunning is 8 plus the proficiency bonus plus strength or dex modifier, which in our case adds up to 18. I've literally stunned Merkel past his legendary resistance, sealing the fate of the battle. It is that strong. At level 6, our fists count as magical for the purpose of overcoming non-magical resistance. We gain an additional 3 meters movement speed as long as we're not wearing armor or using our shield. More importantly, we get manifestation of body, mind, and soul, which gives us 3 toggles we can use to add passive necrotic, psychic, or radiant damage to our attacks. Don't be silly like me and forget to turn it on. My preference here is for mind, as psychic damage can be doubled when you have a certain item, which I'll explain in the gear section. And the final open hand feature we're going to be picking up is wholeness of body. It costs an action, but will instantly heal 18 HP, return half of our total key points, and give us an additional bonus action. And we keep the additional bonus action and regain 1 key point for the next 3 rounds. Our action economy will start to open up more and more as we multi-class, just you wait. At level 7, we're going to multi-class into Rogue. The main reason is when we get the Thief subclass, it gives us a permanent additional bonus action. When we pick Rogue, we get Expertise, doubling our proficiency bonus in 2 skills we're proficient at, and we pick 1 skill to become proficient in. Athletics, Acrobatics, and Stealth are the strongest options here, but I personally pick Athletics for the throw rolls as it's very useful throughout the game. We also get access to Sneak Attack, but since we're not going to use weapons, we don't need these. Level 8 gets us our second rogue level, and that means access to dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action, which improves our mobility in combat, and I personally find it useful for not using any key points. At level 9, we're going to pick the Thief subclass, giving us a permanent second bonus action. My personal preference here is to stick with rogue for 1 more level here just to get a feat, and here we're going to pick Alert, giving us a +5 to initiative, and we can no longer be surprised. Since BG3 uses a d4 to roll initiative, our high dex bonus and the +5 are going to mean we always control the turn order, and that is crucial in honor mode. Again, personal preference, but I prefer the first round setup in honor mode. At level 11, we're going to take our first level in Fighter. None of the fighting styles are really useful for our build since we don't wear armor or use weapons. However, if you're going to use a bow, feel free to take archery. For a solo run, I actually picked defense here for survivability, but this is a niche case which isn't relevant in a party setting, but 40 AC is kind of cute, honestly. Our final level will be our second level of Fighter, where we get Action Surge, gain an additional action for 1 turn, and it refreshes on a short rest. We can use this extra action to secure kills, set up for a wholeness of body, or to lock down additional enemies. The action economy gained here is quite silly. The haste helm is found in a locked chest next to the Blighted Village waypoint. Gain momentum for 3 turns at the start of combat, increasing movement by 4.5 meters. This gives a great boost in mobility at the start of combat, allowing us to get in position. Though the extra movement speed does degrade over the next 2 turns. The Ring of Flinging is purchased from Aaron at the Druid Grove. It gives us +1d4 to thrown damage, and more damage is always good. Crusher's Ring can be obtained off Crusher, who is located in the goblin camp. You can obtain this ring by sucking on his hose, or if you prefer to have your dignity, looted from his body. Crusher's ring adds a +3 meters onto your movement speed, or for my American friends, 10 feet. To get the ring of protection is fairly lengthy, and there are many variations, but I'll break it down in the easiest way for a quick honor run. Let Karga deal with Arabella. Either outcome is fine. Get into the Tiefling Kid's hideout. I transform into a short ass here. Go talk to Mole, who wants to steal the idol as revenge for Arabella. Go to the idol. I suggest using a darkness arrow here, but I literally did it standing in broad daylight because I'm a gamer. My technique is to just grab the idol and immediately hit the go to camp button. You ready? Grab, camp. Grab, camp. By using this quick teleport method, you won't get the grove into a drawn-out war against each other. Return to Mole, who will reward you with the Ring of Protection. It adds a +1 to AC and saving throws. The Gloves of Uninhibited Kushigo. To get this item, we need to rescue Dareth's husband from the Biberbang mushrooms found in the Underdark. She'll give us the gloves as a quest reward. Deal 1d4 damage with thrown objects and improvised weapon attacks. Honestly, my preference for gloves is actually the Sparkle Hands, found in a chest near the tree stump in the swamp. It's guarded by wood wounds and ancient mud methods. On hit with an unarmed attack, gain 2 lightning charges. Attacks against metal constructs or foes wearing metal armor have advantage. The reason I prefer these gloves is it is a very big damage rider source and is superb with throwing smoke powder bombs. DRS sources are a complex mechanic, but I'ma simplify it to blue numbers are dopamine for my brain, and it is good. The Sentient Amulet. The fastest way to get the Sentient Amulet is to have someone jump down from this spot near the Ancient Forge waypoint using Tetherfall. When we open the chest, there would be a dialogue with the spirit inside the amulet to just tell him whatever, so we can keep this amulet in our bags until needed. The Sentient Amulet allows us to cast Shatter once per short rest and restore 2 key points once per long rest. The disintegrating nightwalkers can be found off near the Drow, who is located behind rubble in the Grimforge. Defeat him in order to obtain these boots. The wearer of the disintegrating nightwalkers can be enwebbed, entangled, or ensnared. They also cannot slip on grease or ice, and Misty Step is refreshable on short rest. To get the graceful cloth, we can either purchase or loot it from Lady Esfa in the Mountain Pass, who can be found on the way to the Githyanki Creche. It gives a +2 dexterity up to a maximum of 20, a +1 to dexterity saving throws, advantage on dexterity checks, and increases jump distance by 1.5 meters. Also from Lady Esfa is the periapt of wound closure. If downed, this necklace automatically stabilizes the wearer at the start of their turn and maximizes the amount of HP restored when healing. This necklace is the GOAT for solo runs for particular battles, as it single-handedly clutches the Merkle fight for me, as it is a battle of attrition and the boost from healing is phenomenal. The Cloak of Protection can be bought from Trader Tally if you're alright but Jahira. She can be found at Last Light Inn. The Cloak of Protection adds a +1 to AC and saving throws. +1 might not seem like much, but it seriously adds to our survivability. We're going to buy the evasive shoes from Mattis at Last Light Inn in Act 2. But first we have to get him here. Find Roland, Cal, and Leah near Aaron in the Grove when you first enter. Talk to them and convince them to stay in the Grove. If you're playing a Karlak Origin, and she's still a barbarian at this point, the Tiefling racial option and barbarian class options will be automatic successes. If you're playing a monk, the monk class option will be also an automatic success. Do not skip this step. If Roland doesn't go with the Tieflings into Act 2, he won't be there to save the children, and you'll lose access to Mattis. After this, you need to deal with the goblin leaders. You can do this however you want. After dealing with the leaders, return to the Grove and talk to Sevlor to start the party and move the Tieflings into Act 2. The evasive shoes gives us +1 to acrobatics, making us harder to push around, and +1 to AC, making us harder to hit. The Ring of Free Action can be purchased from Araj at Moonrise Towers. It gives us immunity to difficult terrain, paralyzed, and restrained, meaning whole person is not gonna hold us, thank the Lord. This ring is so important for avoiding really nasty effects and keeping keeping our monk in control of the battlefield. Purchased from the bugbear, the sentinel shield solves our lack of initiative by giving us +3 to our initiative rolls. The +2 AC can't hurt. You can also purchase potions of angelic reprieve from the same bugbear, using these potions to restore your key points without needing to long rest. The resonant stone can be found at the back of the necrotic laboratory area, where you can find some of Balthasar's experiments. The resonant stone has a 9-meter radius effect that causes the steeped in bliss condition. Steeped in bliss causes the affected creature to gain advantage on physical checks and disadvantage on mental saving throws. The creature is also vulnerable to psychic damage. This is pretty big for us monks, who can apply the manifestation of mind passive, which is psychic damage to all of our attacks. Beware that this has also no effect on constructs and undead. The boots of uninhibited kushigo can be found in the leader of the Githyanki monks within the astral prism portal. These boots add your wisdom modifier to your unarmed damage. At 16 wisdom, we add a +3 to each blow, meaning that with action surge for a second action and wholeness of body for a third bonus action, we're dealing an additional 30 damage in a single round. To upgrade the sentient amulet, we need to complete the quest to help the cursed monk. Go to the Open Hand Temple in Rivington, then down the hatch located in the kitchen. Once down the hatch, head south down the prayer hall, then west into the crypt. The sarcophagus we're interested in here is in the far left corner, the one with the sunlight shining over it. Inspect the plaque, then open the lid to start the conversation. From here, you can either take on his curse and try to pass the 2 DC 15 saving throws to learn the spell Tasha's Hideous Laughter and upgrade the amulet, or you can just kill the zombies to get the upgrade. I highly recommend taking the combat option here, as the saving throws are kind of scuffed, and if you do fail, you lose a permanent -1 to wisdom. Yeah, that's not good, eh? The upgraded sentient amulet gives Shatter as a level 3 spell once per long rest, and you can restore key points up to the number of your martial arts die, which is up to 6 points at level 6. The horns of the berserker can be picked up from Damphalon's dancing axe. It adds a +2 bonus to attack rolls when attacking creatures that have already taken damage. Unarmed melee attacks deal an extra 2 necrotic damage as long as you don't have your full health. Do be warned, if you don't deal any damage this turn, you will take 1d4 necrotic damage at the end of your turn. It's honestly great for high AC targets like Raphael and Ansa. The Vest of Soul Rejuvenation can be purchased from Loroakan at Sorcerer's Sundries. This vest adds +2 AC, and when you succeed on any saving throw against a spell, regain 1d4 HP. You can also use a reaction to make an unarmed strike against any attacker that misses you. Great for making us more difficult to lock down, and it also helps offset any damage we might take from our new helmet. The best in SWAT gloves for a monk can be obtained by freeing and saving hope from, well, the House of Home. Pro tip: don't use divine intervention to do radiant damage. You took like 400 damage here. Try to keep her alive for the reward. The gloves of soul catching adds a +2 to our constitution, and unarmed attacks deal an additional 1d10 force damage. Once per turn on an unarmed 10, you regain 10 HP, or you can forego the healing to gain advantage on attack rolls and saving throws until the end of your turn. Personally, I find the healing is worthless, and who needs to heal when everything is dead, right? The damage from these gloves do be a bit silly. If you choose to run a shield, you can defeat Viconia in the House of Grief, Viconia's walking fortress. It's great against spells, giving you advantage on saving throws against them. Any spell attack rolls against you also have disadvantage. It adds a +3 AC, which is very nice for survivability. When a foe hits you with a melee attack, you can deal 2d4 force damage and possibly knock it prone. As a reaction, you can also cast Reflective Shield to reflect projectiles aimed at you for 2 turns, and can use Warding Bond once per long rest. The Helmet of Grit is a very niche and situational pick, but I do occasionally use it time to time to shock people with the amount of action economy Monk gets. You can find this helmet in Cazador's Palace, in the room where Victoria's necrotic body is. In this room is the chest, and inside is the Helmet of Grit. When the wearer has 50% HP or less, they have an additional bonus action. You also get dexterity saving throws +1. A very high risk, high reward playstyle if you want to flurry your way through battles. Key points are the Monk's class resource. They allow us to do all the fun things and recharge on a short rest. With wholeness of body, the sentinel amulet, and EP pots from the rude bugbear, a monk can easily go entire acts without a long rest. I personally use the majority of my key points for flurry of blows and stunning strike. We might occasionally find a need for patient defense or step of the wind, but those instances will probably be rare. Our cunning action from rogues levels do similar things and cost no key points to use. One of the biggest uses for a monk is control. They can lock down multiple targets at a time and prevent them from fighting back. Flurry of blows topple forces the target to make a dexterity saving throw to avoid being knocked prone. When a creature is prone, they cannot move or take actions, bonus actions, or reactions, and they have disadvantage on strength and dexterity saving throws. And attacks against a prone creature have advantage if they're made from within 3 meters. This is huge because so many legendary actions require a reaction to use. And since my party is always all martials, it means the whole team can have advantage to absolutely annihilate a tough target in a single round. Stunning strike is very similar, except it's a very simple stun if the target fails a constitution saving throw. A stunned creature cannot move or take actions, bonus actions, or reactions, and they automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws. Attacks against a stunned target also have advantage if they're made from within 3 meters. Do note, if a stunning strike hits but the target makes a save, a key point is consumed, but if the attack misses, no points will be used. Here's a quick and easy guide on how to kidnap in BG3. We're going to take a strength elixir and get right into method 1, the kidnap and yeet, which is great for repositioning people closer to chasms. Click improvised weapon. Select your victim, then click on the floor where you want to take them. Before you reach this destination, right click to cancel the animation. As long as you don't slam your new friend into the floor, they should be now where you want and you can do whatever you like with them. The second method is waypoint relocation. Great for separating stronger enemies from their friends so you don't have to deal with them all at once. Check the map so you know where you're clicking. Click the improvised weapon icon. Select a victim. Click the floor some distance away from the starting point. The further the better, as it gives you more reaction time. Quickly open the map and click the waypoint. If you've done it fast enough and use the waypoint before the running animation ends, you'll arrive with your new friend. Thanks for watching, and like Shovel says, it's fisting time. Let me know how you get on with the monk in the comments. Bye!